We're back with you now on Wave Listens Live. Don't go broke in a nursing home. Elder Advisors back for the second segment today. And Larry, right before we went to commercial break, you started talking about the legal component to all of this, which is why we've added a third chair down here today.
Yeah, Brian. So at the workshops in Autumn, I almost said Lindsay, Autumn alluded to the fact that we kind of opened up the workshops and we asked the people 3 key questions. I told them, you don't have to be honest with me, but I think if we're going to get something out of the workshop, it's important you're honest with yourself. So we asked the families, how many people have a loved one in a nursing home now or about to go? Hands go up. That's crisis planning. We can help. Second variable, how many people are at home trying to get some home health, some rehab, trying to avoid some problems, pre-crisis planning? Hands go up. Then the third variable is how many people simply want to avoid these problems, give themselves peace of mind, and protect the children and people that they love. Everybody's hands go up. And in all of those variables, there's almost always a legal component. We're not attorneys at Elder Advisors. We're not firefighters. We're not pharmacists. We do estate planning. We protect assets. So in the legal component, we are always happy to defer to attorneys, and we're delighted to have Robert Marshall, a CPA tax attorney, elder law attorney now. He's very busy this time of year, as you can well imagine. Tax time's a couple weeks away. So we're delighted to have Bob Marshall. Round of applause for Bob Marshall. I'm going for Bob. Absolutely. Bob is the man. He is the stalwart for legal for Kentucky.
Well, without further ado, thank you for bringing some of your knowledge here to Listens Live, and some of what I hope that is brought about when people ask you questions when they come to these sessions. The workshops, what do you hope that people get from your component, the legal component of all this?
Well, I help implement the plans that Elder Advisors sets up. Again, this "Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home" is not just a slogan. It's the way they do business, and they're able to help people significantly save their assets and not have to give everything to the nursing home. That's one thing. But in addition to that, people come in, and it's amazing sometimes. People come in, they're 80 years old, they've never done a will. They've never done a trust. And again, a lot of times you can use trusts to help implement your plan to not go broke in a nursing home. The other things that we do to complement that are powers of attorney. It's not unusual when people get older that they start to lose it a bit mentally, and you need to have somebody designated as your attorney in fact to help take care of financial matters and that kind of thing. And then the third part of that is a living will directive. You also have a situation where people need to appoint a healthcare surrogate, which is like a healthcare power of attorney, to make decisions for mom and dad or grandma and grandpa when they can't make decisions for themselves. That's very important.
There's obviously so many people out there that think, hey, I'm a smart person, I can do all of this myself. How nuanced is the legal component of all of this? If you were really to speak to people that have that mindset, that I think they can take care of these things, it really is complex. We've heard you talk about it before. How do you speak to them?
It is. There are a lot of nuances to it. I mean, you have people who say, like, do you understand that if you don't do this, you could be in a persistent vegetative state and be, laid up for years? And most people don't want that. Well, they need to be able to say that in writing so everybody knows what your intentions are. Same thing, we usually put things in there about anatomical gifts. I mean, that sounds a little creepy to some people, but sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to be using my corneas once I reach my eternal reward. So if they can help somebody else, mine says, sure, help yourself. So, but I'm just saying, it's not for everybody. You need to say, well, this is what I want. But it is fairly nuanced. It's not just like, well, I got this form online, and again, there's a basic statutory form in Kentucky, but usually you supplement it with other things. Again, like anatomical gifts. Like, is it okay to put mom or dad in a nursing home? Because some people, I mean, nobody ever thought, God, that's the best thing. I'm right in my sweet spot. I'm in the nursing home. But sometimes there's no other alternative. Sure. So you need to supplement that and make sure everybody's on the same page about what we're going to do with mom and dad if their health declines.
Which is why you ask the questions.
I do. And Lindsay and I would like to tell people that no one plans on failing. People fail to plan. And the great thing is you don't have to do anything, okay? You don't have to do anything, which is a decision to basically, by default, let your children deal with it, the people you love deal with it, but it's not going to be as quick and as clean as easy as it would be if you had the attorney, in this case, Bob Marshall, map out a plan, because it's going to be a whole lot better with whatever plan they develop now than than what they have, which is nothing. And also to Bob's credit, Bob actually, Autumn and I were talking a few minutes ago about phone calls, that we really pride ourselves on making the phone calls ourselves, returning the phone calls, and that's important, and that's lost. That's a lost art. I was a paper boy for 7 years. I never met a stranger, and I learned from my dad. Dad worked full-time. He also did real estate on the side. He was always on the phone, and I learned the art of making a phone call and returning a phone call. But that extends to Bob Marshall, which I find is quite rare and quite unique with attorneys. And I'm not at all making a snide comment. I'm just saying attorneys, they have a mindset. They're legal, and they're working. They're very busy. They're very good at what they do.
Bob takes my load off because he does a lot of the phone calls.
Bob makes the phone calls. So kudos to Robert Marshall, CPA, elder law, tax attorney. He calls the folks.
It sets people at ease too.
And he answers his
Absolutely.
phone in the
Yeah.
evening as well.
Yeah.
I do. He does. Larry will.
Yeah.
So if they have a question, they're just not sure. What have I done? What should I do? Call at 6 o'clock. We'll take the phone call.
Yeah, no one does that. No one does
Right.
that.
Oh, I know, especially today's world.
Right, and before the producer runs us off the second segment, I want to talk about, because we are in tax time at the workshops, always one hand goes up and says, well, I read on the Google Internet, or my son or whatever said that I can gift my kids $17,000, and Bob just said it's 18 this year. So what's the reality, the do's and the don'ts with that? Bob Marshall, CPA, elder law, tax attorney.
The do's and don'ts are if you're going to make a gift to kids and grandkids and those type of things, it's generally a good idea to use it where you don't have an appreciated asset. It's better to use cash than it is to Humana stock that's up $50 a share.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
For tax reasons, that's a better plan.
Okay.
But you can give $18,000 per donee this year to everybody.
But Medicaid will not allow that.
Right.
That's an improper transfer.
What's great about this is we're bringing up things that people are
Right.
able to ask
Right.
of the experts at the
Right.
workshops. We've got 30 seconds left, so let's hit them one more time.
Kentucky, and don't go broken in don't go broken in nursing home.
That's too fast even for you.
Yeah, right. Kentucky, and don't go broken in nursing home. You don't have to. Go to elderadvisors.com, freeworkshop.com, or 855-LARRY55. Monday the 1st in Louisville. Tuesday, Clarksville. Wednesday, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Don't go broke. You don't have to. We'll see you next week,
Happy
Kentucky.
Easter.
Happy Easter.
Birthday, Bailey.
Happy
It's my
birthday,
daughter's
Bailey.
birthday.
We love her.
Thanks, guys, for stopping by.